Live NFL trivia every Tuesday night on Twitch at 9 p.m. Eastern. Come show off your football knowledge and have a chance to win cash prizes. Check the link in the description to find out more. And now, on with our feature presentation. Barry Foster had a pretty solid career with the Pittsburgh Steelers. You think of all the great running backs from 1992, including Emmitt Smith, Barry Sanders, and Thurman Thomas, and somehow, Barry Foster was the best in football. And it's fortunate for him that people remember him fondly for that 1992 season, because his career started off with one of the most embarrassing moments in NFL history. It's an underrated special teams blunder that doesn't get talked about and seems to be a forgotten relic in NFL history, and I'm not entirely sure why. In the near 90-year history of the Pittsburgh Steelers, this might be the biggest special teams blunder in franchise history, and this is the story behind that. First, we need some context before the play gets shown. It's October 21st, 1990, and the Pittsburgh Steelers are traveling across the country to take on the San Francisco 49ers. This is a pretty important game for both teams, even though it's not even the midway point of the season. For Pittsburgh, after a 1-3 start to the season, they've won 2 straight games in convincing fashion to get to 3-3 and get right back in the thick of things. With the Bengals leading the division by a game entering Week 7 and likely to win on Monday Night Football against the reeling Browns, this was a big game for Pittsburgh if they wanted to stay in the thick of things for the AFC Central crown. As for the 49ers, they're 5-0. They've won 2 straight Super Bowls, and if any team is going to be the first in NFL history to pull off the three-peat, it's going to be them. The Giants are also 5-0, so a win here keeps the 49ers atop the conference for a shot at home field advantage throughout the postseason. San Francisco entered this game as heavy 10-point favorites, and early on, the Steelers were playing the role of spoiler pretty well, as in the first quarter, Pittsburgh led 7-0 after Bubby Brister found Richard Bell on a 2-yard touchdown. San Francisco scored 10 unanswered in the second to make it 10-7, highlighted by a 5-yard touchdown pass to Mike Sherrard. Late in the third quarter, the Steelers were still in this game, as they were only down 13-7 following a 20-yard field goal by Mike Hofer. Get a score on this drive, and you've got a shot at doing this. Back there to return the ball was none other than 5th-round pick Barry Foster. In his career up until that point, he had returned a grand total of 1 kick, which came against the Raiders in a 20-3 loss. If you want to see a video I made about that game, then click the link in the upper right corner. Foster was back there, ready to field the second kickoff in his young NFL career. What happened next might be the biggest and most embarrassing special teams blunder in Steelers history. Roll the tape.
Denying the touchdown. Cofer's kick is short. Coming up to get it is Foster. That's a free ball. That's a free ball. And the 49ers get a touchdown. And you can't advance that. Oh, they can't. That's right, but they've got it at the 5-yard line. Rookie Barry Foster from Arkansas just let the ball go.
I haven't ever seen that before in 30 years of football. You always talk to people about it. You warn them about it. Oh.
Mike Wilson, number 85, he said, oh, this is a freebie.
Look at this. He's treating it like a punt.
And you can't advance the ball in that the 49ers offer the impetus to that play. But it's a 1st and goal at the 5 for San Francisco. What a mistake.
I mean, there's no other way to describe what happened here. Foster just forgot to go to the ball. I've never seen anything like this before. Yes, this happened in 2016 when the Jets scored a touchdown off of a kickoff after the Bills just didn't touch the ball. But there are some major differences. Number 1, the ball there at least crossed the goal line. So maybe there was some confusion on what the rules were, especially since nowadays, once the ball crosses the goal line, the play is over. Number 2, the game was a meaningless blowout in Week 17. Even if Buffalo fields that kick like a competent NFL team, it doesn't make a difference. Here, this game was actually meaningful between 2 teams that were good, and the play came in a 1-possession game. I genuinely have no idea how this play got lost in NFL history, because it's absolutely bizarre in all the best ways. As for what happened after the play, as you can probably guess, San Francisco capitalized on the short field, and Tom Rathman eventually punched it in from a yard out to make it a 20-7 game. Quickly after, the game spiraled out of control for good, as Rathman scored from 1 yard out again to make it 27-7 in the fourth quarter to put the nail in the coffin. Pittsburgh was right in this game, looking to strike and pull off the upset just as they did in 1984. But one special teams blunder derailed those plans. That leaves an important question to be answered. What the heck was Barry Foster thinking? Well, Foster didn't know the rules. He thought it was like a punt, where he could get away from the ball. As Foster said, "After I finally realized the ball was alive, it was too late." I'm not sure why this is his explanation, as the rules on situations like this are the same in college as they are in the NFL. Also, to make things more confusing, Foster returned kicks regularly at Arkansas. He was actually one of the better kick returners in the Southwest Conference, as in 1988 and 1989, he finished inside the top 5 of the conference in kickoff returns, kickoff return yardage, and kickoff return yard average. There was no reason whatsoever why Foster should not have known the rules here. Furthermore, this explanation makes even less sense when you realize that in 3 years at Arkansas, Foster had 0 punt returns, so I'm not sure what the logic was there because he never returned a punt in his career. Foster later said, "I blanked out. I just made a rookie mistake. I messed up and it cost my team." As you can imagine, head coach Chuck Noll was furious. When asked about the play afterwards, he said, "What happened? We screwed up good is what happened." The Steelers lost this game, with Foster's blunder being the critical turning point. Fortunately, things got way better for Foster after that. As you can probably imagine, he didn't get too many more opportunities to return kickoffs, as he had just 2 more kickoff returns for the rest of the 1990 season before never being used on a return ever again. But he became one of the better halfbacks in football as the decade progressed, and finished inside the top 6 in the league in rushing yards per game for 3 straight years from 1992 to 1994. And as mentioned before, in 1992, he led the league in rushing attempts while finishing 2nd in rushing yards, 3rd in yards from scrimmage, and 2nd in touches. Once Bill Cowher got to Pittsburgh, his career actually took off for a short period of time. But there have been some great players in NFL history who, for better or worse, have been defined by one play. And Barry Foster might just be one of them. It's tough to get a special teams blunder worse than this one. The message to any football players watching this is simple. If you're on the kickoff return team and a kickoff is coming your way, catch the ball. Don't do what Barry Foster did, because if you do, you're going to have a bad time. Be sure to like this video, ring the notification bell, and subscribe down below if you haven't already, as it helps the channel out a lot. And be sure to check out Twitch every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern for your chance to play NFL trivia and win cash prizes. Link in the description below. If you want to see videos like this condensed down to 60 seconds, then follow me on TikTok at JaroGator9 and subscribe to 60-Second NFL History on YouTube. Also, special thanks to all of our Patreon supporters for helping with the channel. Your support is greatly appreciated. See how you can become a patron and request future video topics in the description below.